नमस्कार.
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 नमस्कार अजय जी.
नमस्कार सर.
नमस्कार. नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
नमस्कार नमस्कार जी.
Gopal, Ravi, Hussein, Aman.
Namaste, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to each one of you joining us from different countries, different parts of the world. Thank you to all our viewers for joining in today with us on this special day of International Day of Non-Violence. On behalf of the entire team of Gandhi Mandela Foundation, we wish each one of you the 151st Gandhi Jayanti that reminds us of the values and ideals that we stand for, not only as a nation, but also as a humanity to accelerate the foundation that has led the International Day of Non-Violence starting on June 15, 2007, which established in the General Assembly of United Nations to appropriate manner to disseminate the message of non-violence, including through education and public awareness. Let us once again remind ourselves that Gandhi is an ideal, is a personality who has inspired just not a group of individuals, but around the world. Before going anything further, we would request each one of you to observe a minute of silence on this day of Gandhi Jayanti, and as also for all our COVID victims and families who have lost their lives because of this crisis, and absolutely for our President of the United States of America and the First Lady to wish them a speedy recovery. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So today is a very special day. It is a day that reminds us of the values that bind.
शैलेश जी,
Yes.
शैलेश जी,
जी?
थोड़ा फेस आपका कट रहा है, थोड़ा इसे सेट करिए. Yes.
Thank
Fine.
you.
Fine.
Thank you so much. So it is a day that reminds us, मुझे लगता है, I think I really appreciate Adesh ji because it is the seniors who guide the young group. And thank you so much, Adesh ji, for being a guide and an inspiration.
You most welcome. You most welcome.
It is a day that reminds us of the values that binds the social fabric of not only a nation, but also of the world. A man whom we know as the father of the nation, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, or Mahatma Gandhi, or a Bapu, who had a stick in his hand, wrapped a cloth across his body, and inspired the world with his foundational messages of truth, non-violence, satyagraha, self-reliant, swachhta. He wishes that every village to be self-dependent and self-reliant.
Yeah.
Moving ahead, today is a very special day as we have speakers lined up from across the globe. And it is a privilege that Gandhi Mandela Foundation, which is working across the country, around the globe, especially in the African region and the Asian region, in bringing forth the values and the principles of Gandhi and Mandela that has inspired not only a generation, but generations after generations. Today, as we move ahead, the principles and the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi and Nelson Mandela have become more than relevant. And as we celebrate the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we can never outlook and forget the contributions that has also been made by Nelson Mandela. And to say, Nelson Mandela Foundation realizing that these values are the values that needs a butterfly effect, that needs to carry forward among the young people of not only India, but around the globe. This foundation as a whole have been working towards spreading the values that we all stand for. Having said that, now, without any further delay, as we have interesting line of speakers, starting from Marilyn Miller, Adesh Tyagiji, Lillian Ajay Ore, Ms. Denise Ajay Williams, Ramachandra Tejawat IS, retired IS officer, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Her Royal Highness Queen Mother, who would be joining as well, Bhagi Nanda Sandhyalaji, and of course, Rakesh Rathiji and others who are joining in as well. So now we would request, and I would introduce our first speaker, Mr. Bhagi Nanda Sandhyalaji. Mr. Nanda has around 24 years of technology and business experience, which includes 12 plus years working as Big Four consultant, where he assisted in delivering innovative, integrated, and intelligent IT solutions for various Fortune 500 companies, which are valued more than $550 million. Some of his key accomplishments are that he signed up 2 new customer logos with multi-layer deals having $100 million plus contract value. He has successfully performed marketing and partnerships lead role in 2015 and All-Stars cricket series for the games hosted in New York, Houston, and Los Angeles, liaising in setting up one-to-one meeting between Mark Zuckerberg, founder and CEO, and the Sachin Tendulkar god of cricket. Mr. Nanda currently holds T20 world record for 4 into 4 wickets in a row all clean bowled, which never happened in game of T20 cricket again. Business advisor for Xcomics, AI IoT Social, TNC Group, Golden Gate Ventures, Venture Capital. As a North American business development lead for Fortune 100 company, delivered IT professional services to major banking, insurance, automotive, manufacturing, and many more. And his CV is so long that I can keep on going with the kind of work that he's been doing. Cutting it short, I would hand it over to Mr. Nanda to share his thoughts on how Gandhi and Mandela is relevant in the present context. Over to you, Mr. Nandaji.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sailesh, for that intro. And I really humbled and appreciate this opportunity and the vision that our chairman, Advaish Anandji, and Baba Ramdev ji, Guruji, as well as our Secretary General, Nandan Jaji. When I heard about this almost a few months ago, first time, it was like, the first meeting itself, I had a goosebumps, just having an opportunity to serve our, not only Indians, but humanity across the world. And I was very inspired, from my childhood about, definitely about Gandhiji, but about Mandela. The more I grew and traveled around, I learned about Mandela too. But Gandhiji, the 3 lessons I follow, again, we all have pressure situations or challenges and business decisions or political decisions. So the 3 principles I take from Gandhiji is, number 1, truth shall win no matter what. Again, we have difference in opinions, difference in personalities, or everyone has a value and purpose of their life. And I respect that. At the same time, when there is a question or a thing, I stick to truth and truth only. And my mom used to say, when there is a truth, you are standing with the God. If the rest of the world is not with you, at least you can count on one and only, the Almighty God. So that is the one thing I always, when in question, that is my DNA kind of a thing. And the second thing is, with the change we expect around within the organization or within our relationship, whether it's business or personal, the change we expect, we want to lead the change, or we want to be the change. Before we go out and say other people to do anything, first we want to make sure we do it ourselves. And then once we are convinced of that value, whether it is a breathing exercise to a business venture, we try it and do a proof of concept and try it ourselves few months, at least 100 days to 100 weeks. Then we can go around and propagate those positive changes that we expect. The other thing is, again, non-violence is very very much relevant to any generation, including this, because as we all know, eye to eye leads to entire world to go blind within a year. So definitely, violence should be the last option. And definitely any situation we can, any thing we can resolve it by sitting across the table and solving the issues. Again, the one thing I always believe in is, for every issue or a problem, there will always be more than one solution, right? Because I come from IT background, but that applies to our personal lives as well as business lives. So any problem, it doesn't matter, whatever the problem is, you will always have more than one solution. You just have to choose which one is appropriate, which one makes more sense. And depending on the goal and the audience and share, stakeholders. So there's always more than one solution, and just do it now attitude. Like, again, I got into so many things, in my 45 or 46 years of life, and basically do it now mode is my strength, actually. And something you believe that with conviction, it's going to change our own lives or people around us, that I just go and do it. And I've done some major projects. And again, nothing is easy. Like, we learn from mistakes, we fall down 100 times, and we get up, 101th time as well. So that is, again, this lesson, leadership lesson from Mandela. The two lessons I learned is, one is, no matter what, how many times you fall down, make sure you get up the next time, or this last time. So next time and last time, the first step and the last step and the next step is what I care about, those three things. And he always, inspired, me on, when you come to Mandela, he's basically, he led a nation, where racism was at its peak, and he suffered a lot, no matter what, but his courage has overshadowed the fear, and the limits, the achievements he has done is in one lifetime is unbelievable. Like, again, today, we are still not at the zero level, but when you compare at 1940s and 50s, the kind of racism we have experienced in Africa, at least, even if 10, 20 or 50% is down, that is great. And again, every day is a progress. So even today we see the issues, but not one person, we can always try to minimize and prevent these issues. So when I talk about this foundation, our goal is to identify 10 people, within the 10 different categories that we lay down. Let it be the culture, innovation, or sports, as well as technology and political leaders. There are 10 different categories, and these categories, again, we have panel or jury from three different countries, and five chief justice of their countries. So these people have, I don't know, again, nomination, anybody can file it, but these are the five chief justices of three countries who will determine the winner, or who will nominate and determine the winner based on their credentials, based on, again, it is an independent, and we are supported by various companies and members, but at the end of the day, the jury is the one who decides the winners for a year. This is the 4th anniversary of this foundation, and again, we anticipate, this year, because of COVID, it may be done remotely, but the nominations for this year, the one we nominated for Global Peace Award is our honorable president, Mr. President of United States. And yesterday we got official confirmation, the acceptance of this award, which itself is a big thing. And unfortunately, today morning we got the other news, which is very scary. Hopefully he'll recover from this COVID thing. And then the other major selection or winner for this is Dalai Lama. As Holy Dalai Lama is.
I think what we're sharing is really fabulous. And sorry for cutting you short there, but your values that you shared, that to stand up while we fall down, is something that I think is very crucial and important while we speak and discuss. And I think what you mentioned about change is within us, and that is very important. Thank you so much for uplifting the values, for sharing with young people as a keynote address today, and to all our viewers who are listening to you today. To share with each one of you, Mr. Nanda is also the vice chairman of Gandhi Mandela Foundation in United States of America, and he is a man who guides us all well. And to say, today we have had more than 3 sessions since morning on Gandhi Mandela e-talks, and definitely, as Mr. Nanda said, it is the patron happens to be Swami and Baba Ramdev, and the chairman happens to be Swami Avdeshanandji Giri. So, and definitely the jury, as Mr. Nanda once again said, that there are 5 judges from 3 countries who are guiding and judging moving ahead. So, Mr. Nanda, with your permission, now maybe move on to the next.
Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, now we have with us Dr. Ajay, who happens to be a very recognized personality in India and abroad, definitely. He's a chairman of Fox Petroleum Groups of companies. His main business region is in Gulf countries and is spread across 15 countries around the globe. Born in Uttar Pradesh, belonging to Bihar from father side, brought up in Assam, studied in London, and now works across 15 countries as his karma bhumi. A man who has risen from zero and now has landed up in the top ladders. Now that we are privileged to have him here with us, we would request Dr. Ajay to share his thoughts on relevance of Gandhi and Mandela in the present context.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, madam, also who has joined. And for me, Gandhiji was a different thing for me as a businessman. Is a business perspective for me. So what I have to say about Gandhiji, he was the epicenter of patience. A businessman should learn in this COVID situation. He can teach us the business. He can guide us how to become calm person during this crisis time. He taught us about the business which is going on around. I don't see Gandhi as only truth for non-violence. I see as a good business manager, business guru also. This is what my prospect is. See next, see, for me his prospect of economics is very important for me. And he wanted to give every hand a bread and every hand a job. And what you are currently seeing it, Swadeshi, and what Prime Minister Modi said, local to vocal, these things are coming up in 2020. It is relevance. See, the Gandhi's, everything is relevant. Gandhi is a religion in India. It is not, he is not a man. He is a holy man for me. Because whatever he said, if you go with it, you will deal with it in your life very sincerely, and you'll get at least a solution to every problem. So for me, Nandaji said a lot of things about Mandela also. Both are on the same page. Too many points. For me, Mahatma Gandhi, you must be, he said one line, you must be the change you want to see in the world. That means what he said is just make yourself better person to be accomplished in another's life. So we are trying hard. As a businessman, it is very tough because profit is our profit. So it is tough. Gandhi was not a profit maker, but he changed it. He changed the concept. He made, now India is 2030, what Prime Minister said, $1 trillion economy. Gandhi doesn't have a penny, but he made $1 trillion India. So this is what a business. See, I'm not going to talk about. Everybody is a senior one. They will say about how Gandhiji's life was, how he used khadi and all. But a man who is having a good tie can be a Gandhi also. If you follow some of his, values, like what he says, seven sins. I have one only. Overcome two, and I follow still five. I'm not a gentleman still date till date. Trying to be a good one, very hard to follow Gandhiji in some cases. But it is very easy if you become a Gandhi or you imitate Gandhi, your life will be very easy. What you said, once said, truth is better than 100 lies. So businessman can't do it, but we are trying hard. We are learning from him, and he's all concept, what the Swadeshi or whatever, everything in economics we follow it. Gandhi said what? Fulfillment needs multiplication of what he wants in socio-economic principles. Gandhi said Swadeshi. That is also still we are going with, and vocal to local. Another chapter was when I see Gandhiji in economic thought, socialism, emphasis on human development, trustship, provide an alternative to the competition, chances of conflict between the various economic classes, thereby promoting peaceful societies that aid free market economics. And if I take a little more deep and say the idea of decentralization has been widely adopted by modern business to expand globally, and it was really the Gandhian's principle. It is not another one. Nobody can manage. Gandhiji was for me what I learned especially. Gandhi was not having any resource, and in management, what we learned is If you have the resources, you can use it. If you don't have the resources, create and use it. So Gandhiji showed us the way. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have the money to freedom India. He doesn't have to for a special meeting like 2,000, 5,000 people to come up. He doesn't go and borrow or bring or charity or do anything. His voice was money. His voice, every voice was every whatever he says is of money. He say he can arrange in a voice. Chalo dandi yatra. In the current date, if you have to arrange a Dandi Yatra, we need $1 billion money because the PR has to be paid. A lot of things has to be done. But Gandhi's voice was a real money, Indian rupee. Every time, whatever he says has been done. So that's how we, as a businessman, I see. Gandhi suggested so much things. One was the law-bred labor. Uh, I feel it very from here, bottom of my heart. See, every hand should have a job and they should have a dignity of life. It is in the hands of the businessman. Businessmen should cooperate. And this pandemic also, I said my HR also, no pay cut, no firing in these days. No pay cut, no firing. Especially at least I have said, and I've taken it seriously in these days. It was Gandhiji. It was Gandhiji's principle. It was not Ajay Kumar's principles. It is Gandhiji who said each hand should get a job and each hand should get a bread so that they can have a dignity. They should die, pass the time, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years with a greater dignity. And that I value him. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not a peace lover because see, in India there is a war situation also. Sometimes I don't say work, I shout also. But so whenever I feel, agar Gandhi ji hote to kya karte? Then I calm down. Oh, okay, smile is the best answer. Nowadays, at the age of 42, I learned how to answer with a smile. In 25, 22, 23, what I used to say, God or government fails, Ajay Kumar comes up, I'll deliver. Now what I say, a smile can deliver better than anything else. So this has changed. This has changed in my life. Mandela was the same kind of man. These two people are holy things for me. For me, I don't bother about my religion. Somebody says Hindu or Muslims or whatever, but I find myself, uh, if I have to write, if somebody allows me to write, what is your religion? I'll say the Gandhian cult. This is my religion, and I'm adoring it. I'm learning it. Still, I'm not fulfilled it, but I'm trying hard. I'm trying to manage very highly. I'm trying to adopt his principles so that I can, when the last time comes up in my life, the last breath, I should also say, hey, Ram, like him. This is my only dream, and this is serious. That's what I am, very interested to know more and more about Gandhi. Learn from him. He was like, whenever I see my last teacher and his voice is matches, and my father was my last teacher. So, my father was very fearful man. My son will do something wrong. He used to taught me, don't do this, don't do this, don't shout, don't fight, don't this, do this. Whatever Gandhi said, my father was always using for me. He was not happy the speed I am going to have. He used to say, Gandhi was having one dhoti and he became so big. You can't be. I said, I can't be. I'm a businessman
Right.
because his voice was money. My voice is not money. My voice is different. Only last one line I'll take from my bottom, my heart. Gandhiji was the epicenter of patience. And at this critical time, businessmen should follow Gandhiji.
Correct.
This crisis needs patience. Gandhiji was only the epicenter of patience. His religion was patience. He smiles in critical situations. That was the businessman should take it from further. And thank you much. Thank you so much. I don't have too much to say for Gandhiji, but I'm doing my business with the Gandhian cult.
So that is
So
very
thank you so
thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for putting in your thoughts because I think as we speak about Gandhi and Mandela, and especially on this day, it is also important that we see Gandhi's principles in the perspective and point of view as well. And thank you for raising that up, and that was very crucial and important. And some young entrepreneurs like you who really envision towards telling that I want to learn more about Gandhi and take it forward. I think that is really inspiring for all of us. without much delay,
So much.
we would like to move on to our next speaker, and then who happens to be Mr. Ramachandru Tejavat, retired IAS officer, an electronics and communication engineer from Osmania University, Hyderabad, and management graduate from IIM Ahmedabad. He's also done diploma in public administration from Syracuse University, New York, USA. As he worked for IBM, CMC, and foray into civil services, started with joining IPS in 1983 and then IAS, Indian Administrative Services, in 1984. He has vast corporate administrative experiences, both at the Odisha State and Government of India, spanning over a period of 35 years, the age that I am not even reached yet. Administrative experiences during various assignments, including Principal Secretary to Industries, Secretary to Chief Minister of Odisha, Secretary to Governor of Odisha, and many more. During his services, coordinated with UN agencies, World Bank,
Connected to MHIMAs.com.
development banks, IDBI. There is a lot that we have been learning from him. Presently, he is also a special representative of Telangana in New Delhi since 2014, and he won the Young Managers Award in 1982 at the national level, instituted by AIMA. Without much delay, I would really request our very own Ramachandru sir to share his thoughts. Sir, over to you. Sir, if we could request you to unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shailesh, for giving this opportunity. I also thank my friend and my all-time supporter, Nando. And there are a couple of my friends also in the audience, because with your permission, I have invited them to join this group. It's really a privilege, let me tell you. It's a really privilege on an International Day of Non-Violence, which is celebrated on the greatest man on this Mother Earth, Mahatma Gandhi. It's not only for Indian, but for every human being. And speaking about him or Mr. Nelson Mandela, I think it's a audacity, you can say, to speak on them. But still, since this occasion, we should say something. Well, I cannot say I'm following all his principles, or all their principles, but trying to, at least sort of non-violence, and at least not telling lies. That I can tell you. I follow it even today, irrespective of what sort of hardship I must have encountered as a student, as a practicing bureaucrat, and even today. So no, but it gives a courage and strength. It gives a courage and strength. Now, one thing I can tell you, to all our friends and through you to many others, if we can rededicate ourselves on this occasion, rededicate ourselves to the values which they have told us, both Mr. Mahatma Gandhi ji and Nelson Mandela ji. I think that will be a greatest, respect, and we can pay back to the society. If we can follow him, single person, I'm not saying the whole thing. Because it is said, and I think somewhere in the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, we write a lot of things, but it's one line is written: one man can make a difference. One man can make a difference. That is a thing which talks of Mahatma Gandhi. It's not relevant only for India or only Asia. It's for the whole world, not in the past half a century or 70 odd years or 80 years, but coming centuries and coming generation. And it is not surprising that another greatest scientist called Einstein, having mentioned about him, that a future generation would really wonder, a person like Mahatma Gandhi was born on this Mother Earth in a blood and flesh, ever existed. If for them it would be a greatest, surprise that yes, whether a person like really existed on this Mother Earth. Now, that is a person. Who spoke about him? Who said? Einstein, the greatest scientist on this Mother Earth. Now, those are things. Now, the relevance we're talking of, even Mr. Mandela's, is really great thing. I think You put it as a joint thing here. What has he preached? Violence can never win anything else. Violence is not part of our life. When we should not. But as a nature, every human being, every creature I'm talking about, every human being, every creature has something in him or her. There is an element of violence. Small thing is required for every. But then that cannot be the weapon to win something else. Certain times it may require, not always. What they have taught us, that non-violence, violence cannot win certain things. Even amongst us today, even today. Relevance we're not talking today, even today. What are the teachings? Now, togetherness, what Mr. Mandela has preached us. The peace. Now just imagine, he has dismantled apartheid single-handedly. Even he fought. I mean, the thing has continued even though he was in jail. That's a thing, the spirit which, the inspiration which these two persons, the greatest person on Mother Earth have, created in us. Now, the thing which I think Ajayji was talking about these things. So what he has taught us, trusteeship to all the businessmen. Now today we have brought it as a part of this corporate social responsibility. Why? Why should there be an enactment? It should be within us. Trusteeship. Yes, I'm trustee of the wealth I'm creating. That is satisfaction. Otherwise also, now he may be having, say, for example, I'm not saying dash crores of rupees with him. Where is it lying? In the banks. Somewhere else is there, in the assets. He's not enjoying that. He's only feel that, yes, my worth is $100 billion, $200 billion, $2 billion, 1,000 crores, 100 crores. We just only feel, but nothing. And that's where he said trusteeship. Now, every aspect of which is today the malaise of the society across the globe, saying that, what are we battling with? Iniquity. What are we battling with? Iniquity. Across the globe. Why terrorism is there? And that's where the Gandhi Satyagraha has shown us. We can fight. And then, what is the thing? Other one is there. No, I mean, nature, protecting the nature. Protecting the nature. Now, I think which are only, coming to an extinct. Now, he says the climate condition, to manage the climate, he says another 2 more degrees and we are no more. We don't exist, never exist. And of course, Mother Earth has its own way of reacting. That's a different thing. So whatever they have told us in those days, not only win the independence to the respective nations, but in the process, they taught us so many things. So my appeal on this occasion is to all of you and through you to the government things is let there be more things being taught about these persons like these two persons, to our schools and colleges and universities. Let there be some debate, discussions. See, we are only celebrating on that basis, and that's as a ritual. No, I think it's not the end of it. That's unfair. It's unfair. In fact, it's insulting them.
Right. Very
we
true.
should make it a part of our life, and that's what we should teach our youngsters, younger generation, and future generation. And something, today I'll be going out of this session, maybe after 1 hour or whatever, 45 minutes, whatever time you give us, and we're going richer by learning, listening to many of the speakers. And thank you once again for giving me the opportunity. Jai Humanity, Jai.
Sir, it so happened that I think today I have got the worst of the works ever. To interrupt leaders like you, leaders like Dr. Ajay and Nanda ji as well, to request them to stop while you have so much to share. And I feel very sad doing that. Honestly, forgive me, please.
That is part of your job.
And I think there is so much to learn. I am so happy that you talked about Satyagraha. I am so happy that you took ahead telling that there needs to be discussions, debates around Mandela and Gandhi across the country, around the globe. And thank you once again for reminding us that it is the journey and not the destination that has helped us realize from both these leaders. Now, I would really like to move ahead with our very known supporter, Miss Marilyn Miller. who is here with us and joined us and to introduce her, it is my honor indeed to introduce Marilyn Miller, who was born and raised in Brooklyn in New York. She always had the passion for community activism and a vision to serve. In 1982, she was sworn in as NYPD police officer and served faithfully for 20 years, 2 decades, and retired in good standing. The amount of services that she has given is approximately close to my age as well. So I think there's a lot to learn from her. Later, she continued her education and received a bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Marilyn also had a burning desire for the political world and worked on numerous successful campaigns. In 2016, she joined the Trump campaign, Make America Great Again, and was nominated and selected to be a delegate at the RNC convention in Ohio. Marilyn continues her passion for politics and is currently working on the Trump 2020 MAGA campaign executive. She is recently the US Special Advisor for our Gandhi Mandela Foundation as well. Marilyn, over to you.
Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be an honor to be on the call with you and to meet all of you, not in person yet, but hopefully one day we will all meet in person. The two great leaders, what can we say about those two great leaders? They're just inspiring. They're just inspiring people, you know. They just instill so much, they uplift you, and mostly all their fabulous quotes, numerous quotes. They uplift you as far as peace, prosperity, business. Every quote that they have made and given and quoted to the world and to the nation of uplifting. When you're down, get up again. Never, if you fall, it doesn't matter how many times you fall down. It matters how many times you get back up again. And those two are so inspiring. And I had a pleasure of meeting Nanda many years ago. We worked on the Trump campaign. I met him originally in New York, and then we met again at the Cleveland, Ohio, at the Trump convention. And we developed a friendship there. And of course, I was more than happy to do it, because Nanda is a very inspirational and spiritual person also, like Gandhi and Mandela. And it's been a pleasure working with him. And I'm so happy that we finally got the confirmation that the president has accepted the award. And I look forward to the ceremony with you guys, and also helping India and Africa. Thank you so much.
Wow. I think as Gandhi stood for minimalistic words, Marilyn exactly stood and championed Gandhi's vision as well. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for sharing your thoughts. And I think there's so much, you know, one thing that I just got a message from the Secretary General as well of Gandhi Mandela Foundation, and he just said that Gandhi Mandela Foundation is going to celebrate the next 1 week as in Gandhi Jayanti. And he believes that every day is a Gandhi Jayanti, every day is a Mandela Day. And I think that comes as a very important aspect. Also that we have missed to hear more from Ramachandra sir, Marilyn, Nanda sir, Dr. Ajay. We would want to invite you over the course of this week and hear more from you, so that your voice can be voice of the young people and can inspire them in the future. With all of your permission and with Marilyn permission, you know, we have now we would move ahead to our very own director of Gandhi Mandela Foundation, Mr. Adesh Tyagi ji, जिन्होंने हम सबको इंस्पायर किया है, हम सबको मोटिवेट किया है और आज हमारे साथ बीच में जुड़े हुए हैं. I would also like to make it a little bilingual, as because a lot of young people are joining in from India as well and from these regions. So we'll make it a little bilingual to say, and I can really translate that to Marilyn if needed after the course of the discussion. So हमारे बीच आज आदेश त्यागी जी हैं, जिन्होंने पूरे गांधी मंडेला फाउंडेशन की तरह वो डायरेक्टर के साथ आज जुड़े हुए हैं. इन्होंने खाली हमें नहीं, पूरे भारत में सबको प्रेरणा दिया है. इनके अनुभवों के बारे में शेयर करना ये मेरे लिए मुझे लगता है बहुत ही सौभाग्य की बात है कि आज वो ही इज ऑल्सो अ PR एग्जीक्यूटिव टू श्री स्वामी रामदेव जी फॉर द पास्ट 17 years. आप पहले मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर ऑफ यूफीएस टेक्नोलॉजीज रह चुके हैं एंड एस एंटरप्रेन्योर in the field of real estate, philanthropist and patron of cultural arts. मिस्टर आदेश त्यागी जी युवाओं के प्रेरणा स्रोत है और आज हम सब के साथ अपने कुछ वाणी साझा करेंगे कि किस तरह गांधी और मंडेला आज के जीवन में रेलेवेंस है. आदेश जी, ओवर टू यू.
Namaste, everyone. I want to start by welcoming everyone on the board and thanks for taking out time to attend the webinar. My father always believed this country was built on the back of Mahatma Gandhi's sacrifices. And there is no doubt that South Africa would not be the country it is today if Mandela had not devoted his life to liberation, to black people from white supremacy. On the Nations Day, memory of my own words, I want to pay homage to the father of India. May Gandhiji ideals continue to safeguard democracy and equality in every corner. Would for generations to come, Mahatma Gandhi and his fellow visionary, the great Nelson Mandela, fought many battles for liberty and equality. And without their contribution, the world would never know the meaning of humanity. But as of today, the world has forgotten their values. With millions living below poverty in the continents of Asia and Africa, the rise of pessimism across the globe and the climate crisis posed by industrial development, world mobility is again inches away from US. The purpose of this Gandhi Mandela Association, therefore, is bring the dream of our forefather back to reality. So I beg present to take an oath, take a pledge with me that will dedicate entirely of your life to making this world and every civilization globally a more equal, democratic, and fair place for our future generation. Let's fight evil the same way Mahatma Gandhi and great Nelson Mandela did with non-violence. I please to do the same. Jai Hind, Jai Gandhi.
Fantastic. I think Adeshi, what you have shared today is so relevant, and I think जिस तरह आप अपने वाणी से युवाओं को पूरे भारत में सब समय प्रेरणा देते रहते हैं, आज फिर से आपके उस शब्दों ने खाली आज भारत को ही नहीं पूरे विश्व के युवाओं को प्रेरणा देने का कार्य किया है.
Thank you, Salil.
And today we just got statistics from our team members that approximately more than 2,000 people have watched us, who have been watching us live. And this is exactly what is happening. More than 100 cities, young people and people from across 100 cities are watching us from around the globe. And that is exactly what Gandhi and Mandela stood for. And I think their vision and ideals are very much relevant even in the present context.
Yes.
Without much delay, I would quickly go on to our supporter, guide, Mr. Rakesh Rathi ji, who is also the president for Gandhi Mandela Foundation in Switzerland. So he has been in Switzerland for the last 27 years now. He's been in the area of technology, an MBA from IMD Switzerland, which is ranked #1 in business schools. He has completed his engineering back from India, works closely with the CEOs of large global firms such as Nestle, Novartis, ABB, Roche, UBS, Credit Suisse. He's received number of awards both in India and abroad. Currently, he runs a business portfolio of USD $120 million as an annual turnover. So without much delay, I would request Rakesh ji to share his thoughts with us today.
Thanks, Ashwin, and thanks everyone. I think first of all, it's an absolute pleasure and delight to be in this call, to meet everyone, to listen to everyone. It's quite inspiring on your thoughts. The fact that we are all global and in different background countries coming together on a common platform, I think that speaks for itself. As far as this call is concerned, actually, I'll try to keep the key point of Gandhiji was, be quick, be brief, and be gone. So I'll be very quick, I'll be very brief, and I'll be gone before you know. Given the fact that I'm a father of two young boys, I've been learning more from them. So I always think listening is better than talking. But I think everybody has pretty much said all the good points I could think about, to be honest. There's not much I can add more, except for the fact that I think that, one thing which I've learned from him is basically from both Gandhiji and Mandela is that, look, listen, learn, and lead. And basically the idea is, it's you're always in control. You got to believe in people's good nature. Generally, people are much is nicer. Lead a simple and a productive life, and you have to be yourself. Eventually, you should be listening, open to listening to everyone's view, including the criticism of the leader himself. Sometimes you have to be open to be listening to your leadership criticism as well. But if I take all these points together and all the good points which you have said, that's pretty much what it is. But it's wonderful to meet and talk to you. And next time I'll surely be on video. I was just telling Ashwini, I'm actually on the road, and in Switzerland, we are not allowed to put the camera on, otherwise the radar catch you. But next time I'll get on video. So thanks everyone for being on this call.
Thank you, Rakesh ji. Thank you.
I think there was so much more to learn from Mr. Rakesh, but as it is said that, I think also that he's mentioned that he's on road, so maybe we would love to hear more from him in the future. And thank you so much, Rakesh ji, for still being joining in this dialogue, even while you are on road, and there are highly likely chances of getting ticketed because of if in case there is even a slight chance of you opening on the video. So thank you once again. Now that yes, Ramachandra sir, you would have
If it happens, he will remember forever.
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, Sailesh, I would like to take 1 minute. Our Queen Mother, I call her Mama. She's the Queen Mother of Nigeria, Chief Ajay Tempoti. She has been very inspirational for UN as well. She has participated in major programs at UN. And we are doing multiple ventures in Nigeria, especially energy, real estate, and telecom sectors. And she just joined. My apologies. She was thinking 9 p.m. her time, but it's my bad. There were so many things going on. I didn't update. It's Indian Standard Time. Even though meeting says 9 p.m., but they got mixed up, and she just joined. Highness, thank you very much, Queen Mother, for joining this session. Please, apologies for my communication. I just forwarded whatever I got. I never realized the time difference between Nigeria, India, and all that. Sorry, apologies.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nanda, for that, and apologies, Your Highness, for for the miscommunication that has happened. I mean, Mr. Nanda is a real team leader who takes the mistake done by his subordinates and young people like me onto him. So thank you so much, Nanda, for covering my mistake over to you. Really appreciate and acknowledge that. It is really an honor to welcome Her Royal Highness Queen Mother, Chief Temito Ajay Mama Diaspora FM. Currently, Her Royal Highness is the Chairman, CEO of Silicon Valley Nigerian Economic Development SVNED Incorporation, a company, to establish a strategic bilateral economic relationship between Silicon Valley and Nigeria, creating opportunities for Nigeria and Nigerian companies to do business with America and American companies, especially in information technology sector. Ajay's political career included her service as a special assistant and advisor to the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Nigeria. Her Excellency has achieved 25 plus years of experience as an international business speaker IMF, and World Bank annual meeting. Her efforts and continued advocacy on the Nigerian diaspora issues have earned her in the media moniker Mama Diaspora. Her Highness Queen Mother is well known for promoting women empowerment and poverty eradication in Africa through agribusiness. Without much delay, we would request Her Royal Highness Queen Mother to share her thoughts on the relevance of Gandhi and Mandela in present context. Over to you, Royal Highness.
Yeah, I salute everybody on the something. I'm sorry I was late. Somebody as a kid, I've been reading about the late Mahatma Gandhi and as an and also about Nelson Mandela. But to be honest, I was very fortunate last year. I was honored to have to co-host an event at the General Assembly last year. Because when we're talking about peace, we think about our legends. And I was fortunate my event made the UN Journal because I happened to have honored the late Mahatma Gandhi with uh, the General Assembly, United Nations Ambassador for Peace, and also Nelson Mandela. Is there on the history of United Nations last year General Assembly, 2019. I've always been that has always been my role model, Mahatma Gandhi. Number one, the humble life he lived. He genuinely loved his people. He did everything. He sacrificed everything he's got for the liberation of his people. That is the kind of thing I see and I want to emulate in his life, as well as Nelson Mandela. You see, as I'm saying, I'm fortunate to be on the Zoom meeting with some powerful people all over the world. I want everyone else to take a deep breath. The baton is on our hand right now. We happen to be the living legend all over the world. What do we want to be remembered for? I've reached a stage in life, I believe fame and fortune are just an illusion. But the only thing is, what do we want to be remembered for? I'm highly honored. Number one, I have to thank Mr. Nadia. I love him so dearly, that is my brother. For the kind and with Mr. Patel. They really genuinely love my people. They love Africa. He was in Nigeria. He ate our food. That's something I can't get over. Mr. Nada, history will never forget you. Thank you for supporting Africa. Thank you for doing everything within your power to make Africa on the limelight. I'm highly grateful and I thank every one of you. Anything you want me to do, believe me, I'll be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mama. Thank you very much. May God bless you and give you good health and a long life. And we are very much humbled and honored to have you. And it's basically, again, you don't know, but every minute, every day we interact with you, we learn so many things from you, your humbleness and what you have done for Nigeria and getting the business from Silicon Valley. I know it's how difficult it is. And a similar role is played by our State Secretary Ramchandra Garu also. He has got various investors from different countries and different states. So he's doing a similar job, but you are doing without any official title as a private citizen. That's what I'm a differentiator, I would say. And again, as a job, doing that itself in India is not easy. Ramchandra Garu knows that, the system is so old or so outdated. It's impossible to get things done. But he also, major initiatives he's done. Thank you, Mama. Thank you for your time and really appreciate. And once again, my apologies for this time difference. I should have had a call and explained you detail.
Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness, for sharing your thoughts. It has really inspired all the viewers who are listening to us, and especially as a young person myself, I think that there is some the values that you represent and stand for, especially the women empowerment and strengthening the people at the grassroots level, especially in the villages as well, and the marginalized communities. I think that is exactly what is inspiring me to take something from you today. And thank you so much for all your activism and leadership that you do. And definitely, Mr. Nanda is a great team leader, as I have been saying that again and again, for covering up for everything that we are doing. Without much delay, we see that we are coming towards the end of this discussion and dialogue. And not only this, I think this is a starting point of something that is to come next. And so we have other people who have joined in from different countries as well. And if someone would like to, put in maybe a minute or two remarks on what are their thoughts on Gandhi and Mandela's present context, so you could really unmute yourself and put your brief thoughts in a minute or two.
Yeah, I would request, there is a priest from our ISKCON and Radha, Radha Gopinath Temple from New Jersey. Prabhuji, Gopalji, if you are available, please share, your message on Gandhiji, especially. But if you know anything more about Mandela, that is also welcome, please.
Swamiji, if you're here, we would love to hear your thoughts. Maybe if you could request.
నా ఫోన్ చేస్తున్నాడు.
I think maybe due to some technical reasons, we're not able to hear Swamiji at the moment. Maybe in the future we would love to hear him and invite him over this entire week of celebrating Gandhi Jayanti and Mandela Day, as we believe Gandhi Jayanti and Mandela Day as every day. Now, I would quickly request Mr. Nanda, the Vice Chairman for Gandhi Mandela Foundation, United States of America, to maybe share his final thoughts for the discussion today.
Yeah. First of all, I thank every participant. Starting from our State Secretary, Special Secretary Ramchandruji, and Royal Highness Queen Mother, and Dr. Ajay, Adesh Chagiji, our Director, and Rakesh ji from Switzerland, and many other participants, including my childhood friend Srini, and my classmate Shiva. I don't know if he had joined or dropped out, but thank everyone, because we are all busy in our lives and we are not used to this kind of digital unless we are in a corporate setting. But this became our way of life, again, at least for the next few years. So as a foundation, what the main goal is, irrespective of the times and irrespective of situations, we want to identify our leaders in various categories and have an event where this award can continue not only just for one few years, but as big as Nobel Prize, kind of 100 years. Whether we exist or not, this foundation should continue their chapters and activities, identifying the youth as well as people who are addressing the major problems across the globe. And everybody needs that recognition or appreciation. And again, we have right leadership, including Nandanji at the Secretary General, as well as our chairman and chief patron Baba Ramdev, and Judy itself. Again, these are all voluntary work, guys. There is when you expect somebody's as big as any chief justice of countries and successful business people, everybody's time is limited on this planet, and everybody contributing a minute is equivalent to a contribution of $100 because of the experience they bring and the vision and strategy they put together. And we as a core team workers, we try to take their ideas and milestones and make sure it is really delivered and the best way we can. With that, I conclude this session. And once again, thank you for this. And I would appreciate Sailesh for doing an excellent job. And Sailesh, you should continue this doing on a weekly or a monthly basis. We as a team, a global team, we will bring the right people and right experiences and right values together, and to make some difference in every part of the world, not just India and US and Africa, but the rest of the world, where wherever it is needed, we should expand our offices. And right now, I believe there are 12 offices, which itself is again, whether it's a cricket or a business, getting the first 10 things is a difficult thing. Now we already crossed 10 and 12, so we should aim for 100 in the next coming years. With that, I thank everybody for their time. Have a wonderful day and wonderful weekend as well. Thank you, sir. Yeah,
Thank
but
you
please
so
go ahead,
much.
Ramchandra sir. You want to say something? Please go ahead.
Thank you for the whole thing. And now the thousands of youngsters who are listening to this, I have two appeals to them. With the permission of our moderator, Sailesh.
Please go ahead.
One is,
Yes.
let's take a pledge today to bring down the inequity. Let's take a pledge today. And second is to preserve Mother Earth, to protect the climate. These two, let's take a pledge. And all those youngsters, I appeal to them. Through you, Sailesh and Nanda, I'll appeal to them to kindly take care of these two things only. I don't ask more. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. It's an excellent message, sir.
Thank you so much, each one of you, starting from Dr. Ajay, Marilyn Miller, Adesh Tyagi ji, Ramachandra sir, Nanda ji, Her Royal Highness, and Rakesh Rathi ji, and absolutely our Secretary General Nandan Jha, who has inspired the millions and of young people and millions of people across the globe coming together in carrying forward the legacy of Gandhi and Mandela today. And as an individual myself, as a part of the institution myself, it is an honor to hear all of you renowned speakers who come from different backgrounds, who have different energies altogether in inspiring, as Mr. Nanda said, and the next set of generation ahead. And I think what exactly Mr. Ramachandra sir has said, yes, we go out today with a pledge of protecting our Mother Earth, and also to, as he pledges, to make sure that we plant trees and take care of them as well. Something that I have learned from him back long as well a week ago. And yes, as Gandhi and Mandela stood, that it is about the journey and not the destination. All of your journeys are like an inspiration to each one of us. So without much delay, thanking you once again. Have a good day, good night, and good evening. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sailesh.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Sailesh. Thank you
Thank you,
very
Thank you,
much.
Ramchandra ji.
everyone.
Thank you, Nanda ji. Thank
Thank
you
you very
so
much.
much. You have been wonderful.